Seen this since last Saturday. Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows, episode 539, Enter the Dragon. Happy Lunar Chinese New Year. It is the year of the dragon. That's why I have episode's name's Enter the Dragon, and I have my Dishonor on Your Family shirt on. Just got kind of depressed, just getting ready to enter the show here, where I discovered that I have lost a follower, so I'm now back under 100, which really kind of sucks. There was one point I was up at 101, but now I'm down to 99, so, well, I was surprised to get to 100 anyway, and nobody watches the show anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, my back is hurting me still. For those who don't know, last week I was in the ER on Saturday night. Actually, I would have been back home by now and probably asleep and on drugs. But I have kidney stones, and I discovered this week that it takes 31 to 45 days for them to pass. So I'm only day 7 right now. And the pain has been so up and down. It's not funny. Sometimes it's really, really painful. Sometimes it's not painful at all. Like this afternoon, I didn't have hardly any pain. Other times it's different types of pain, whereas I feel pain elsewhere in my body that is not, that I assume, associated with my kidney stones. Some of it could be the constipation I have from taking the drugs I've been taking. And it's just weird. It's the heavy pain like I have like right now seem to hit at night, whereas I'm usually fine during the day. It doesn't make much sense to me. I do have a heating pad that I put on when I go to bed and sleep on that. I do have water beside my bed. That's the other thing I hate about it, was I have to keep drinking water. And so I was back to work this week, and I am going peeing it seemed like every 15, 20 minutes I had to go pee because I was drinking so much water. So that kind of sucks. And it hurts, but it's also very annoying pain, and I just wish it would go away. I hate that it keeps coming back, and I'm hoping that it gets out before 31 to 45 days. I really need to move on from this. I really don't want to spend half the year dealing with this right now. I know it's technically not half the year, but still feels like it. So it's also Super Bowl Eve. Don't give a rat's ass about the Super Bowl. Don't give a rat's ass about the two teams playing. Don't give a rat's ass that Taylor Swift is going to be there. I'm glad she's going to be there. Good for her. But we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll have the NFL honors we talk about this week. The atmospheric river, earthquakes, birds and snakes, and airplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. We'll talk about that as well. Y2K, we'll talk about that. Ryan Reynolds will talk about that. Peeps, since we're getting closer to Easter, the Beatles, Manhunt, Denzel and Spike, Giancarlo Esposito, anniversaries, Predator. Disney had released a bunch of information. Percy Jackson update, Spy Family, Kevin Williamson, new Coca-Cola permanent flavor coming out on Wednesday. We'll talk about that as well. Winona Earp, which is something I haven't talked about in a really long time, is back in the news this week. Blazing Saddles, Karen Gillan, interviews with the vampire, Kevin Costner, Driveway Dolls is back. Miles Teller, we finally know who he's playing in the Michael Jackson biopic. Manhunts, Tom Holland has a new job. NASA, Ingenuity. Aldous Hodge, Russian cosmonauts, and all kinds of fun stuff. So, talk about it is Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon. So that's pretty cool. The dragon event's going on in Pokemon Go right now. So there's lots of dragon types out there. So that's a lot of fun. Let's see, who should I start with? Let's start with, I guess, the atmospheric river. We'll deal with that right now. Due to climate change, stuff like that, there is a I don't know, it was once in a lifetime amalgamation of an atmospheric sort of front that was developing in the Pacific Ocean and has been going over the Pacific Ocean, gathering um, moisture and stuff like that. And it finally landed in Los Angeles this week, dropped 36 straight hours of rain on Los Angeles. They gained up to about 11 inches of rain. The LA River, which is usually a trickle, became a roaring river for a while there. Um, it triggered hundreds of mudslides and an evacuation order. And there were warnings all the way down as far south as Arizona and New Mexico, and as far west as Denver, which is supposed to be getting the snow from this. It has cleared California now, so it's once it starts moving across the country, it's going to start breaking up and getting smaller, not as strong. So we're going to be getting, I think, some rain from that later this week, but no snow from that. But it was a 36 straight hours of rain. 11 inches of rain is unheard of. I cannot even imagine that much in a place that, and sometimes it gets zero rain for like a year, and then it gets 11 inches of rain in one 36-hour period is insane to me. And, I guess people are just so stupid. They don't realize that that is not normal, and it's not normal due to climate change, just frustrating stuff like that. Now, on top of that, see if I can find my other story here for that. So on top of that, on Friday, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake hit Hawaii. And at the same exact time, a 4.6 magnitude earthquake hit California. So they just suffered through 11 inches of rain. And then about 4 or 5 days later, they get an earthquake. So it's not looking great in California. Hopefully things are good out there. I have friends and family out there, and they're doing okay. No one's affected by it. Courtney Cox posted a hilarious reel, which I can't tell exactly how she did it. I think it's computer generated, where it looks like her house is filled entirely waist high with water, and she's just walking through it like normal, and she reaches down under the water, and her dog is down there and lifts the dog up. He's not floating, he's just walking on the walks, and he's not wet. And then she's sitting on the phone on her sofa with the water around her, and then she's dipping her cup in and drinking it's hilarious. It is absolutely funny as shit. So they're making fun of it now because I think they are past the hard part, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. But it's a atmospheric river, so that's something that is insane, never heard of before, but much like the cold mass that comes down from the North Pole, that did not really get heard of until this century anyway, due to, again, climate change as well. I guess I can't ignore it, so I can actually for a little while longer. The NFL honors happened this week. The only two I really care much about is Lamar Jackson won his second MVP in his career. He's up there now with Patrick Mahomes, who also has two. And Joe Flacco, former Baltimore Ravens quarterback, won Comeback Player of the Year award. And there's a really cool picture of Lamar and Joe backstage with their awards, hugging each other. So it's kind of cool. I guess I should probably pull up all the awards. Why not? Because I really don't have, since I did my show on Monday due to my pain and stuff like that. I did all the news from Monday on Monday, so this episode is not going to be all that long. So may as well run this over. So here we go. MVP, we got that already. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey for the San Francisco 49ers. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett for the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people are pissed off about that. They believe that T.J. Watt had a better season than Myles Garrett did, and he deserved to have won it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud, quarterback for the Houston Texans. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson Jr., defensive end for the Houston Texans. So the Texans won 2 big awards, and actually Coach of the Year was Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns. The Houston Texans coach lost by 2 votes. So he could have won that also. Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Flacco. I talked about that. That's all the ones they have. There's other ones. Let's see how some of the other clothes. I hate all these pop-up ads. All right. Let's see if they have any other ones. I might just shut those down. Those are the important ones. And there's some little ticky-tacky ones also, like assistant coach, NFL and assistant coach of the year, Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. That's one of them. Actually, I'm not even going to deal with that anymore because it's all these pop-ups and all that stupid shit is annoying. Something they also announced the NFL Hall of Fame. Nominees, or not nominees, finalists who are going to actually be in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame 2024. Don't care. Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester, Andre Johnson, also Houston Texans. Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, Randy Gradishire, and Steve McMichael are the your NFL class of 2024 Hall of Famers. So congratulations to all of them. Congratulations to all the winners. And that is the NFL honors. So good on Lamar and Joe both winning on the same night, which is really interesting. Yep. Before we get to my look at my deep dive into Super Bowl, where I'm going to weigh all the matchups and pros and cons, and then after an hour give you a score. No, I'm just going to give you the score, or what I believe is going to be the winner, and what's going to happen and stuff like that. And we're going to talk a little about the Super Bowl. But first, I got to put on my new hat as cynical conspiratory Dylan, which is the character I introduced last week's episode, where we talk about some of the weird stuff that has come down that makes it look like that the NFL is rigged. In this case, the San Francisco 49ers seem to be having an issue in their Super Bowl reign, and then something the Chiefs did during the AFC Championship game against the Ravens could be cause for a tampering probe. But here we go. First up, San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, and every other year they alternate who the home team is. This year just so happens to luck out that the AFC is the home team. So Kansas City is the home team, and they are given the practice fields of the Raiders at their new stadium in Las Vegas. So they've got the really nice brand new, perfect practice field for them to get ready for the Super Bowl. The visitors, meanwhile, have to go to UNLV, which is University of Nevada, Las Vegas, which is right nearby there, and work out on the field there. They have to work out outside, whereas I don't know, they might be inside because it is Las Vegas. So, but that doesn't matter. In December, UNLV finishes their college football season, and they knew full well that the Super Bowl was coming in February, so they needed to get the practice field ready for the visiting team. And so they were supposed to change the sod on the field to make it from a 50% firmness to 70% firmness to simulate the NFL grounds. They didn't do it until a week ahead of time, and when the 49ers got there, it was not at 70%. It was like maybe at 55%. So it means that the sod was not ready for them. It is soft, which is very dangerous when you're practicing. You could very easily injure yourself. Plus, it doesn't give you a realistic feel what the field is going to be like, so it puts you at a disadvantage. Also, this is something that you always hear a story about this somehow. We don't know if it's fans or if it's players from the opposing teams or whatever, but the San Francisco 49ers, the hotel they were staying in had a fire alarm go off at like 5:30 in the morning this week, where they had to get up and start their day way earlier than expected, and deal with the fire alarm and evacuate the hotel, and then go back up and deal with all that stuff as well. So they had to deal with that as well. Chiefs didn't have that problem. 49ers did. So there's lots of little conspiratorial things about that. That makes it look like that they're angling for the Chiefs to win the game because of the Taylor Swift connection and because they like those types of teams. I guess they want another New England Patriots. NFL, I guess, wants it that way for whatever reason. They think it makes more money for them, which honestly, most NFL fans could care less if or really don't like to have same teams in the Super Bowl every year. Unless, of course, you're part of that fan base and you're extraordinarily happy about that. And I can see why people might get bored with it after a while, but there we go. And finally, this one is more of a conspiracy theory that could believe to be some tampering in the Chiefs' win against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, and it should be investigated, and they should maybe lose draft picks and should get the whole world brought down upon them like the New England Patriots did when they did their various scandals. In this case, Eric Bieniemy, who was their former offensive coordinator, who had moved on to Washington Commanders to be their offensive coordinator this past season, was still under contract at the time of the AFC Championship game with the Washington Commanders. Andy Reid, coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, likes to bring in former players and coaches to come in and like juice up his team members and get them excited and give them words of advice and stuff like that, which there's no problem with that. The Ravens do it too. They had Ed Reed, they had Ray Lewis, Jonathan Ogden, all then give them, advice and get them jazzed up and jacked up for the game and stuff like that. So Eric Bieniemy comes in and you're assuming, okay, he's just going to give them a whole, hey, I used to be your coach, I still know most of you guys, give it your best, you're the best offensive unit, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and gives them a play. An official play says, use this play during the game. It'll be successful. Eric Bieniemy does not work for the Kansas City Chiefs anymore. He works for the Washington Commanders. He was still a member of their squad at that time. There's absolutely no reason for him to give a play, an offensive play, not being the offensive coordinator, and not giving one to the other team as well, if you're going to be fair about it. Seems to me a little bit like tampering. I have to do more investigation exactly what tampering is like, because some people are questioning my use of the word tampering and other people's use of the word tampering, but that sounds very suspicious. I guess there really is maybe no law on the books that says you can't do that. But it just seems rather odd that a former offensive coordinator who's only 1 year out from being away from their team comes back and gives them on offensive play against the team in their championship game. It doesn't make much sense to me. So I'm kind of suspicious. I could give a rat's ass about this Super Bowl. I really don't care much about it. And honestly, it's a trend that's been happening over the last years, not just because of the Ravens. If the Ravens are in it, yes, it's a little bit more interesting. But we haven't been going to any parties because we just sort of lost track of that. And honestly, I really don't want to go to any parties because it's boring. It's boring for my kids. And it's more fun to watch it at home and do our own thing and stuff like that and not have to go places that are having the party and stuff like that. And the Super Bowl commercials are no longer all that interesting because most of them have already been leaked on the internet already. Or if you're waiting for movie movie commercial trailer premiere, stuff like that, which are waiting for the Super Bowl, like Deadpool 3, stuff like that. You don't have to watch the game because they will be posting the trailer literally right the same minute or right after it airs on the NFL's Super Bowl. So you can just look online and you can just, if you missed it, you can say, oh, I must have missed it. And there it is. You can watch it ahead of time. So even that's nice. And the halftime show, who cares? It's Usher. I really don't like Usher. It's I'm honestly, I don't care. That's the one thing I think my wife and daughter are most interested in looking at, but I honestly don't care about it. So the games against two teams I could care less about, both of who've been in the Super Bowl multiple times, and one who was there last year and won it. Because I do kind of believe there's sort of a weird sort of uh, conspiracy. I can't use that. I got to take off my cynical conspiracy hat. Look at it this way: Chiefs are going to win the game, and the reason why I believe that also is because despite everyone's talking about Brock Purdy and everyone thinks he doesn't get enough respect, he's a game manager. He's got Christian McCaffrey. He's got Deebo Samuel. His two playoff games. Let's look at these two playoff games during this playoff season. One, he almost lost to the Green Bay Packers. After being on break, he did nothing. He looked awful, and people were saying the same thing I was. They were and seeing the same thing I was. They were writing articles about him saying he looks awful. He's terrible. He's not going to lead us to anything. It's McCaffrey's the one that's been carrying this team and stuff like that, Debo and all that. And then he just pulls it together for one game-winning drive, and they win the game. And then in the game that they did against the Lions, he wasn't doing anything for the first half. The Lions were dominating them, and then he got it together somehow, and they came back and won the game. But they were losing badly at halftime, and it was the Lions' self-destruction more than Brock Purdy coming back and leading them to victory. Everyone says that Brock Purdy was robbed of the MVP. He gave up 5 interceptions to the Ravens. That's not an MVP-style award, and he looks terrible when he doesn't have his players. And if you just cut off his players, then you're going to win the game more. Kansas City Chiefs are a bunch of punk ass bitches who pseudo tough guys who think they're great, led by the great Travis Kelce, who's their little ringleader bitch boy, who's going to be jawing at them all day. And they have been underdogs all during the playoffs because they look terrible this year. And then they've come out in the playoffs and they're playing like the Kansas City Chiefs of old, despite the fact that they almost lost to the Buffalo Bills, and that the Ravens, if the Ravens, they should have annihilated the Ravens. But the fact that they beat them only by a touchdown goes to show you that maybe they're not as good, but they've been their pressure, their knowledge of being there, stuff like that. And I still think there's a little bit of a hint that the NFL wants the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. I think they're going to win the game. I think it's going to be a close one, probably. It'll probably be a big scoring one because neither team has really good defense, really, to be honest. I mean, we beat the 49ers like 31-10, so that's really nothing. So I'm thinking, I would say, I guess somewhere around a 36-24 sort of game with the Chiefs winning. Because they do have Patrick Mahomes, and all the videos you see are about, hey, you got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a winner and will win this game. Like Tom Brady was a game guy and stuff like that. So we all that up like that. So we'll see. God, my back hurts so bad right now. I think it's got to be this chair and just. I took medicine and it's just not working right now, and it hurts badly. So. Try to get through this. Country star Toby Keith passed away this week. When I first saw it, I was like, holy shit, and I felt bad, but then I remember that Toby Keith is kind of an asshole, douchebag, shithead, who the early part of 2000s was a raging asshole. The Dixie Chicks, who had their constitutionally protected rights to complain about our government's attacking Iraq for no other reason. He started spouting off on them and getting them banned and stuff like that. He's a racist shitbag, like most country stars are. He's a Trump supporter, asshole, a pseudo patriot sort of guy who thinks that he's the greatest thing. His songs are all about drinking and beer and women and stuff like that. But a lot of people like him. I'm not one of them too much. So sorry for his family, but he's kind of a dickhead. So 1 week of kidney stones, I already talked about that. It's hurting me right now as I'm sitting here. Hopefully I'll be able to make it through this. I do have some Oxy that I still take. I don't want to take too much of that because A, I don't want to get addicted to it, and B, it only lasts for 4 hours anyway, and I only have a limited amount, and this is going to take me through March. I need to have some drugs still around in the last half of this experience, or I'm going to be suffering through this without any drugs, which sucks. So forgive me if things get a little too hard. Taylor Swift has officially landed in Los Angeles at LAX. She's probably made her way over to Vegas by now. That story, she landed about 8 o'clock today. So she's probably made her 45-minute jump over to Vegas. So she's probably over there, hopefully sleeping, and hopefully Travis Kelce isn't railing her right now because she needs her rest. So hopefully maybe they're just having a nice dinner or whatever. So that'll be good. Disney had a whole bunch of news come out this week. The biggest one, and there was really nothing to reason for, just all of a sudden they just shot out a whole bunch of news. The biggest one is Percy Jackson has officially been renewed for a second season. So we will be seeing the Sea of Monsters, which is great, which is a really good story as well. So we'll be seeing that. Disney is eyeing Ayo Edebiri from The Bear to star in a new female-led Pirates of the Caribbean film. Of course, the awful men are all complaining about a woman taking over for Johnny Depp and going to ruin pirate movies and ruin their lives and stuff like that because they can't stand women. They just want to control women. Let's see, anything else in here? Oh, yeah, Moana 2, surprise announcement. Didn't know Moana 2 was even in the works right now, but they released a teaser trailer for it, and it's due out Thanksgiving of this year, which is odd. I figured you just announced it. It's not going to be until next year, but apparently they must have already made it. The weird thing is, though, both The Rock and the actress who played Moana has said they have not signed on to do the voices yet. So I don't know what that's all about. So we'll hear more about that, I guess, supposedly. And that puts it's opening the same day as Wicked Part 1, which is that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And so people are making fun of the whole Barbenheimer thing now, calling it Moaned. Moana Wicked, Moaned. It's kind of funny. Let's see, anything else here? See if there's anything else that's Disney related on this page. There should be some more Disney-related stuff, and I will. Oh, the other one. That's right. The other one is Pedro Pascal. Supposedly, it's officially been cast as Reed Richards, but Disney has not come out, and Marvel has not come out officially and said it. But there's all kinds of stuff like SAG-AFTRA has put that he is going to be. I guess they have a list of all the actors in SAG-AFTRA and what jobs they're doing, and he's in line for Reed Richards in Fantastic Four, and then the director posted something like that and then deleted it. I don't know what the going on with that, but there's that right there. Another rumor coming around is that Tom Cruise going to be in Quentin Tarantino's final film. It's one actor that Quentin Tarantino has not worked with yet. There's a lot he hasn't worked with, but if they can get Tom Cruise, that could be a big get for him. Going back to football, Amazon Prime is going to exclusively air a wild card game next season. So joining Peacock, which also got an exclusive game this year as well. So luckily I have Prime, but when you are exclusively showing a film showing a game that most people who might not have streaming who are interested in football can't see it, just doesn't seem like a good model. Just to buy that to see a football game is ridiculous. It's a stupid. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Warner Brothers thing. About that. Dave Bautista and Samuel L. Jackson to star in an adaptation of a comic book called Afterburn. It's a comic book not from one of the big ones. It's an independent comic book, so that's pretty good. Dan Trachtenberg will be directing not one, but two Predator movies. One, a direct sequel to his Prey called Prey 2, and a standalone Predator movie that is subtitled Badlands now. So those are going to be coming up here soon. That's Peacemaker season 2 is in pre-production. James Gunn is working on Superman right now, but I think he's written the scripts for Peacemaker, and they're working out the opening number for the opening credits like they had for original Peacemaker, and they've got some other stuff that they're working out. He's not going to start working on that till right after Superman. He's got to do Superman first. He's contractually obligated to do that first, but he's still kind of simultaneously working on Peacemaker season 2. Ryan Reynolds has re-upped his deal with Paramount, which opens up a fourth collaboration with Sean Levy. They did the Atom Project, the video game one, Normal Guy, little whatever, the video game one. I can't think. God damn it! And that was one that got me through last week. This pain is what's really pissing me off right now. New Guy, Ryan Reynolds movies. Free Guy, that's what it is. Free Guy, The Atom Project, Deadpool 3, and now he's also doing this fourth one with Ryan Reynolds. It's only thing we know about is the title is called Boy Band. So we'll be seeing that momentarily, but Ryan Reynolds is now re-up through 2027, I think, with Paramount. A Quiet Place Day 1 Super Bowl ad hits a day early. Again, that's another issue we've been having. Some of these Super Bowl ads that you have to wait the Super Bowl to see them. Now you're getting teasers for them and actual showing of the commercials before they air on the Super Bowl. So people have seen this. This is A Quiet Place Day 1 was supposed to be one of the Super Bowl trailers to show during the Super Bowl, but they've released it online already, so you can see that. The first look at Y2K, a movie about two high schoolers who crash a New Year's Eve party in 1999 into 2000, and disaster strikes. Rachel Zegler, Julian Demon, Mason Gooding, Jodine Martell, and the Kid Leroy are cast in it. Denzel Washington and Spike Lee are reteaming for a remake of Akira Kurosawa's extortion drama High and Low. Don't know much about that, but they've made some good movies together, so that's good to see that. Giancarlo Esposito has taken over for Andre Braugher. Andre Braugher died back in December. Andre Braugher, before he died, had signed on to do a Netflix TV series called The Residence, and they were going to work on it. I think they had filmed some of it right before the strike happened. So then the strike happened, and then before the strike was settled, Andre Braugher passed away. So they had to recast, and Giancarlo Esposito has stepped into the role. The Residence is described as a screwball whodunit. 132 rooms, 157 suspects, one dead body, an eccentric detective, a state dinner takes place in the White House. So it is a crazy whodunit in the style of Knives Out, with an eccentric detective who's going to be probably played by Giancarlo Esposito, who is trying to solve a murder at a state dinner. And he's a screwball whodunit, so it's going to be comedy and funny. So that should be an interesting thing coming up there, too. Back to the NFL. The NFL is going to be holding a game in Madrid, Spain in 2025. Spain joins all the countries that have signed on to want to host an NFL game. Peeps Delight S'mores marshmallows are a thing now, just in time for Easter. Jania Wallen from Candy Cane Lane has joined Daredevil Born Again in a lead role. Don't know what the lead role is, but she has joined it. Burger King Candied Bacon Whopper is a new Whopper that's out now. Never heard of it. Have no desire to eat it because I don't like Whoppers. An engineer has invented a portable igloo for the homeless to keep them warm in cold weather. That's a brilliant idea. Wish more people would do something like that. Anniversaries. The Beatles appeared on Ed Sullivan this week, 60 years ago. Napoleon Dynamite is 20 years old this week as well. A death this week. Seiji Ozawa, acclaimed Japanese conductor, passed away this week as well. Oh, and the Hippodrome anniversary. Hippodrome reopened 20 years ago. Billy Madison's 29 years ago this week, and John Wick 2 came out 7 years ago this week. Sorry, I need to just keep shifting because this pain is really bad. And once I finish this, I'm going to probably just go right to bed, put the heating pad on. I think I might just keep the heating pad on for a while to see if it settles down, because I really, as I said, I don't want to take my Oxy right away because it's only a 4-hour one. If the heating pad and water can't control this pain I'm laying down, I will take the Oxy. That means I take it at 4 in the morning, which I've been doing lately also to get me through the rest of the night. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's film could be about vampires, but nobody knows what it's about yet. Funimation, the anime, one of the anime streaming services, is actually officially shutting down. You will no longer see that anymore. Spy Family, Code White, the movie trailer came out this week. Is due to debut in theaters in America on April 19th. It'll be over in Japan about a month earlier. Sunflower from Into the Spider, the song Sunflower from Into the Spider-Verse is one of the first singles to ever hit double diamond status, which is really amazing. Trailer for the Cuckoo horror movie. I didn't watch it because I don't give a rat's ass about it. But if you like horror movies, there's a new one called Cuckoo, and trailer's out now. The Regime trailer with Kate Winslet, I talked about that last week. First trailer for that came out March 3rd. Checked it out. It looks kind of interesting. She's playing a despot who hires a savage guy to be her bodyguard / head of her army / lover. And she's discussing invading a country, and she's got all these little weird quirks and stuff like that. Looks like another Emmy win for her, and looks good. A show not a lot of people talk about, Winona Earp, which I watched the first season of with my wife and then didn't watch any more of it, but I've been wanting to rewatch it. Has got some good news for the rabid fan base that they have. A standalone motion picture will be available on Tubi, bringing back the cast. It's a brand new one written by the creator, Emily Ratas, I believe. Who I follow on Twitter. She announced it this week. So a new Winona Earp adventure is coming your way, probably next year, I would assume. Continuing the Disney stuff, Disney and Epic, who does Fortnite, have a collaboration to create a video game world and also to add more Disney characters to the Fortnite as well. Talking about maybe a Captain Jack Sparrow skin, and people are saying maybe we'll get a Mickey Mouse and Goofy and so on and so forth. So, but they're also going to create their own collaboration, their own little world. Don't know what that's going to be about. We saw some little tidbits of what it could be, and there could be some Avatar characters and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Also, the Inside Out 2 teaser trailer came out this week, so we saw a little bit of that. That was also from the Disney thing. Mandalorian and Grogu. The movie will be released in 2026. That was also released this week, I think, from the Disney thing. Kevin Williamson, creator of Scream and Dawson's Creek, is setting up a Rear Window TV series based on the Alfred Hitchcock movie. Anthony Michael Hall will be joining season 3 of Reacher, an undisclosed role right now. Zac Efron takes on double roles in Jodie Hill's Blake Crunch thriller. Late Night with the Devil trailer set on Halloween 1977 on a TV show is said to be kind of a Blair Witch Project sort of found footage thing about a Halloween night show, Halloween 1977, 1970 sort of talk show where all kinds of bizarre and weird demonic things happen. And they discovered the master tape of it recently and are releasing it to the public now, so on and so forth. So it's a Blair Witch sort of found footage type of movie thing from Shudder. So David Dalmastian is in that as well. So that's good on that. Okay, the rest I guess just science stuff. Matthew Good leads the Netflix's new crime drama called Department Q. Knuckles, the spinoff of the Sonic movies, is a 6-episode TV show on Paramount with Idris Elba returning to the role of Knuckles, and Sonic is making an appearance in it. We get the first trailer for the series. Looks okay. A new Oscars category, the Best Achievement in Casting, is set for a 2026 debut. So we got a few more years before they do that. Hopefully they'll also bring in Best Stunt as well. They really need to do that to bring that in as well. A new species discovered, a ghostly white creature with giant eyes was found walking along the bottom of the ocean. They discovered it small, little roly-poly sort of family. Remarkably young global ocean discovered on Saturn's moon Mimas. First of 3 Kobe Bryant statues unveiled outside of the LA Lakers arena. Lunar astronauts could potentially make hummus with moon-grown chickpeas. So I guess they're going to start setting up, greenhouse stuff like that. And chickpeas, I guess, is an easy item to make. And you could create that into hummus. So that'll be good. Actress climbs to the top of the Las Vegas Sphere. That was caught on video. New Coca-Cola flavor called Spiced has a hint of raspberry and is also going to be a permanent selection. We've had a lot of these, individual ones have come out for about a month or two, and then new ones come out, so like that. This is going to be the first permanent Coke product in a while called Spiced, and it's got that sort of raspberry hint to that, they say. That is scheduled to debut on Wednesday, which is Valentine's Day. And if I can get a sample of that, we will have that for this upcoming weekend show. Which I'm going to have to figure out some other way. Maybe get a heating strip pad on my back so I can do the show without having this pain. Let's see, what is that? There are Chernobyl. I can't read my handwriting there, which is an interesting story, though. There are wolves in Chernobyl which are immune to cancer or have an immunity to cancer. Have a immunity to cancer could be the key to getting rid of cancer. I wish I could read that headline. But so they discovered that there in Chernobyl, where there's the nuclear meltdown still going on, there's all kinds of new weird creatures there. They discovered one that appears to be immune to cancer, and if they can access its blood, could discover how it's immune to cancer. So it could eradicate cancer. So that'd be pretty good. Death Mojo Nixon, cult guy. I can't read my writing again. He created songs called Elvis is Everywhere, Burned Down the Mall. It's just a crazy sort of dude. He died this week. And Rod Sherman, legendary Raiders wide receiver, died this week as well. Henry Farnborough, last surviving original member of the Spinners, died this week as well. Anniversaries, Dante's Peak came out 27 years ago this week. Still one of my favorite movies. Lego Movie came out 10 years ago this week. Another really good movie there. The Ravens won their Super Bowl in 2013 this week. So 2013 would be 10, 11 years ago. You Can't Do That on Television, debuted on Canadian television in 1979. I grew up watching that when I was younger on Nickelodeon. Great show. So 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. So it makes it 45 years old, 45 years ago. So it's 45 years ago. 45 years. Taxi Driver, 48 years ago this week, released this week. And a bizarre cryptid scenario. On February 9th, 1855, 5 towns in Devonshire, England, woke up to a massive 8-inch snowfall and bizarre bipedal cloven footprints all over all their towns. There was nobody out and about during the snowstorm overnight, and the only footprints were these cloven hooves. Normally you think that they could have been pigs or whatever, but these appeared to be bipedal, and they also appeared to go up to people's doors, go up on top of rooftops, look through windows, walk on fences, go up trees, stuff like that, which normal pigs and other cloven-hooved animals could not do. So people are saying that the devil came to Devonshire and just walked around in the snow and did this. It's still one of the neatest cryptid sort of stories out there, not knowing exactly what it was. And supposedly it happened in New Jersey not too long ago. People believe the Jersey Devil came out and did that sort of thing. This came out in 1855. So 1855, 1955, let's see, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005. So it's 150, almost 150 years ago that happened. 149 years ago that happened. Next year will be the big one for that. So that's always been an interesting cryptid story for me that I've always enjoyed. Crew member dies on the set of the Wonder Man TV show that Marvel's doing. That's always a shame when somebody passes away. Toy Story 5 and Frozen 3 are coming out in 2026. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour movie is airing on Disney Plus on March 15th. Those are all stuff that was released as part of the Disney news that came out this week. Oh, The Terror returning for season 3 after a 5-year hiatus is an anthology series, so it really doesn't matter. It's about historical events that have supernatural aspects to it. Karen Gillan to play Mary Tudor and Patsy Fenton to play her jester in a new historical comedy called Fools. Interview with Vampire second season debuts May 12th. Dave Franco and Alison Brie are set to star in the movie together. Kevin Costner, to produce and star in another one of his passion projects, has not revealed what it is, but he will not be directing. He'll be teaming up with the director that directed him in the movie Criminal to make this picture. Drive Away Dolls, which is Ethan Cohen's individual film. Joel Cohen did his Macbeth movie with Denzel Washington. Ethan Cohen did this Drive Away Dolls movie. It was announced last year, but due to the strike stuff, it got moved to this year. It's coming out February 23rd. A trailer came out to sort of tell people, hey, we're still here. Come see it. Corey Hawkins, Willem Dafoe, and Anna Diop are set to star in the psychological thriller The Man in My Basement. Last week, I told you Miles Teller was joining the cast of the Michael Jackson biopic directed by Antoine Fuqua, but nobody knew what role he played. Well, we know now. Miles Teller will be playing John Brannon, who is Michael Jackson's high-powered lawyer. Tom Holland is set to star in a Romeo and Juliet as Romeo in a West End revival of Romeo and Juliet. So he'll be working on stage for a while, which is basically England's version of Broadway. Barnabas Vujidis Salvani breaks the world record of 59 hours for a World of Warcraft session. So he broke it by about 23 hours. So he is now the reigning world champion, not world champion, world record for longest World of Warcraft session. NASA Ingenuity helicopter has been decommissioned after it has damaged a rotor and is now no longer able to fly. Major magnetic anomaly discovered deep below New Zealand's Lake Rotorua. Don't know what it is, and could be kind of interesting to find that out. Aldous Hodge wants to be Jon Stewart in the new DCU. Russian cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko now is the record holder for most days in space with 879 days. Tobias Menzies stars in Apple TV Plus's adaptation of Manhunt about the hunt for John Wilkes Booth based on the novel that I read not too long ago, which was really, really good. It was a it's a history book, but it's written like a thriller, and they're making an adaptation of it. The Acme versus Coyote debacle. Warner Brothers continues to show that they are a piece of shit. They said they're not going to release this animated live action film, and they were trying to sell it to other people, but they were asking for way too much, so nobody bought it. So they are going to shelve it and destroy it like they did with Batgirl, and that's causing quite distress because it's kind of a bad look on your business, and I'm not a big fan of this new trend that seems to be happening a lot lately where you shut down a production that's almost done being made or has done, and you just write it off as a tax write-off. It seems hinky and stupid and should not be happening. Before I get to the final story of the week, Death Alfred Castelli, a creator of Martin Mystery, the Italian comic book, has passed away. Anniversaries, Coraline, 15 years. Oh, I'm sorry. And Michael Jaston, an 88-year-old actor, passed away this week as well. Blazing Saddles, anniversary, 50 years ago this week. And Coraline, 15 years ago this week. So the final story this week, before I get up and I can take my drugs and go to bed, we have a living plant was photographed controlling a machete through an industrial robot arm. So basically, the robot arm was attached to a plant, a living plant, and the living plant wielded the robot arm that was wielding a machete. I honestly don't know what to do with this information. That is absolutely insane. Can't even conceive how that could happen. That I mean, plants are living, but to have such control over itself that it can wield a machete seems a little odd, right? Doesn't it? Oh well, that's just me. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to poop here because I feel like I need to poop. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, this pain is hard, and it's gonna be one that's gonna be with me probably until March, which is gonna suck ass. So on top of that, I lost over here, so I'm just having a bad time now. It's a chronic pain that's not always bad, but it's always there. And I keep worrying that I'm going to run out of drugs to keep it at bay. I'm going to lose control. Just all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going to try to move on and try to get it on the heat pad. Hopefully that'll calm it down a little bit, stretch it out a little bit, because this chair probably isn't helping any of it a little bit. It's probably making it worse, actually. But well, next week is Valentine's Day. It's Fat Tuesday. It's Ash Wednesday. We'll have the Super Bowl results and anything else that pops up. So we have Valentine's Day, Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday. All right. Winner of Super Bowl. I will have Super Bowl trailers and commercials to talk about. Talk about my week in kidney stones. And we'll see what else we'll be able to talk about. Oh, Lincoln's birthday. That's what I don't do. Lincoln's birthday also. Next weekend, my family will be away camping, so I will be here by myself. So hopefully everything will be okay. All right, that was another short one because I didn't have a lot to talk about. But next week we'll have a probably bigger, fuller week. So we'll see what's going on. And honestly, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go enjoy your Super Bowl. Could care less about it. Now take some Oxy.